I want you to confirm that whether or not there will always be a human in the loop when AI is used in a kill chain for lethal targeting decisions. Will there always be a human in a loop, or will AI make the decision?
Senator, I feel like it's a pretty accurate term for folks who don't see the plank in their own eye and always want to see what's wrong with an operation as opposed to the historic success of preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. So I stand by it.
You compare journalists, you compare us, you compare so many to Pharisees. Pharisees. It's a problematic and historically weaponized term that casts Jewish communities as hypocritical or morally corrupt. You doubled down again.
Absolutely.
I cannot stand for that. That is wrong.
Pete Hegseth just called the CEO of Anthropic an ideological lunatic. You know why? Because Anthropic said their AI cannot be used to kill people without a human making the final decision. That's it. That's the crime. A tech company said humans should decide who dies, and the Secretary of Defense called them lunatics for it. Watch what Senator Rosen did with that.
So, Secretary Hegseth, I want to talk a little bit about AI, because, of course, our service members deserve every advantage we can give them. So I just want you to help me understand this. In February, on the eve of Operation Epic Fury, you publicly designated Anthropic as a supply chain risk. However, this week it's been reported that the White House is now helping agencies get around this decision to access Anthropic's technology. So the administration cannot credibly make both claims simultaneously. So before I ask you about the inconsistency, I just want you to reconfirm what it is you plan to use this technology for. It's been publicly reported that the decision to label Anthropic a national security risk was influenced by your personal and very public contract dispute with Anthropic when the company said that its technology could not be used for fully autonomous weapons targeting or mass surveillance of Americans. So following up on your response to Senator Rounds earlier, can you confirm whether or not there will always be a human in the loop when AI is used for lethal targeting decisions?
Well, first of all, on Anthropic, they would not agree to our terms of service. That would be like Boeing giving us airplanes and telling us who we can shoot at.
This is not. So this is not just about Anthropic, though. This is about.
I just want to be clear. And also, Anthropic is run by an ideological lunatic who shouldn't have
But that's not my question. My question is AI
decision making
writ large.
over what we do.
Writ large.
We follow the law,
Should
Senator.
AI? Will you confirm? You said this to Senator Rounds earlier, so I'm just asking for you to.
We follow the law, but we don't have to sign a different terms of agreement with Anthropic.
This is not the question. This is not about Anthropic. This was just an example. I want you to confirm that whether or not there will always be a human in the loop when AI is used in a kill chain for lethal targeting decisions. Will there always be a human in a loop, or will AI make the decision? You said this to...
We follow the law and humans make decisions.
So you will confirm what you said to Senator Rounds, that a human will always be in the loop when AI is used.
Which is why that's part of our terms of service anyway.
You know,
it's how we operate.
All I want to say is this. There is a DOD directive, 3000.09, which mandates that autonomous and semi-autonomous weapon systems be designed to allow commanders and operators to exercise appropriate levels of human judgment over use of force. That is in the DOD
That's why
directive.
we follow the law, Senator.
So the answer is yes, Mr. Secretary.
The answer is we follow the law. Absolutely.
I think this is more important than following the law. I think that people want to know that AI isn't going to make lethal decisions, and it is critically important.
AI is not making lethal decisions.
That's what we want to hear. We're going to follow on that one. I have just a few seconds left, but you keep doubling down on this phrase, Mr. Secretary. You compare journalists, you compare us, you compare so many to Pharisees. Pharisees. It's a problematic and historically weaponized term that casts Jewish communities as hypocritical or morally corrupt. You doubled down again and said it. Words matter. Words matter. What you choose to say, how we choose to say it. How do you justify using this language as Secretary of Defense? Words matter. It's a historically hurtful term. Why do you continue to use it? And what actions are you taking to prevent rhetoric like this from permeating throughout the department that is going to target specific groups or individuals of people based on their religion?
Senator, I feel like it's a pretty accurate term for folks who don't see the plank in their own eye and always want to see what's wrong with an operation as opposed to the historic success of preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. So I stand by it.
You stand by calling people Pharisees. Sir, I cannot stand for that. That is wrong. It is not respectful to people, and I expect anyone who is in leadership in our country to be respectful and use respectful terms and not be an anti-Semite.
Thank you, Senator Rosen.
Let me make sure you heard that correctly. Pete Hegseth, the man who texted F-18 launch coordinates to his wife, his brother, and a journalist on a consumer app, just called someone else an ideological lunatic. The man whose operational security consists of a signal group chat that reads like a family WhatsApp Pete's war plans, please mute notifications, looked a United States senator in the face and called the CEO of Anthropic a lunatic. Because Anthropic said no, not no to America, not no to the military. No to one specific thing, letting artificial intelligence decide who gets killed without a human being making that call. That's the line Anthropic drew. A machine should not independently decide to end a human life. A person with rank, with accountability, with a name attached to the decision should be in that loop. Pete Hegseth's response to that position was to label Anthropic a national security risk, blacklist them from defense contracts, and then call their CEO an ideological lunatic in a Senate hearing. Now, here's where it gets truly terrifying, because while Hegseth was busy blacklisting Anthropic for refusing to let AI make kill decisions independently, the White House quietly started helping other agencies get around Hegseth's own ban to access Anthropic's technology anyway. So the official position of the United States government is simultaneously: Anthropic is a national security risk. Also, please use Anthropic both at the same time, from the same administration, about the same company. In the same week, this is the man running your military. And Senator Rosen did something elegant here that most people missed. She didn't argue about Anthropic. She used Anthropic as a door, walked through it, and came out the other side asking the question that should terrify every single person watching. Will there always be a human in the loop when AI makes lethal targeting decisions? Simple question. One sentence, yes or no. Hegseth took 4 minutes to not answer it. He talked about Boeing. He talked about terms of service. He talked about how we follow the law, which is not an answer. That's a door you walk through to avoid the room. Following the law means whatever the law currently says. Laws change. The question wasn't about the current law. The question was about the principle, the human commitment, the moral floor below which this administration will not go. Is there a floor? We follow the law is not a floor. That's a rope that moves with whoever is holding the other end, and Rosen knew it, so she kept pushing. Confirm it. Say it out loud. A human will always be in the loop. And Hegseth kept circling the answer without landing on it until the political pressure of the camera forced one word out. Yes. But even that yes was wrapped in conditions. That's part of our terms of service anyway. Meaning, yes, for now, with these contractors under this directive, which we can change, which we control, which answers to us. Not yes, always, unconditionally, as a matter of moral principle that no executive order can touch. There's a difference between those two answers the size of a bomb crater. Then just when you think the hearing can't get more revealing, Rosen asked about the Pharisees. Pete Hegseth has been calling journalists, senators, and critics Pharisees for months, in public, repeatedly, doubling down every time someone objects. And Rosen, who is Jewish, sat across from him and explained carefully why that word has a specific historical weight when used against people asking accountability questions. Hegseth's response was to double down again, right there on camera. I stand by it. Not an explanation, not a clarification, not a single moment of reflection. Just, I stand by calling you a Pharisee, because the irony is so thick you could drown in it. The man comparing himself to righteous warriors against hypocrites while covering for an administration that has never met a conflict of interest it didn't immediately profit from. Here's what this hearing actually revealed under all the noise. Pete Hegseth blacklisted an AI company for insisting humans stay in control of killing decisions. He is now pursuing AI weapon systems through companies that didn't draw that line. He cannot tell, you will not tell you with moral certainty that a human being will always be the one who decides when someone dies. And when a Jewish senator asked him to stop using historically weaponized religious language against his critics, he looked her in the eye and said, I stand by it. This is the man with his hand on the door of America's military machine. One word in the comments. That's all I'm asking. One word for what Pete Hegseth actually is, because I've run out of printable ones.